Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I know I've been gone for a minute. It's been a minute, but welcome to the channel. If you're new here and you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. If you're not new here and you don't like the content, still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people because you may not like me, but somebody out there does. If you want to follow me on social media, you need a way to contact me for business. You want to buy any merch, you want to get something off the storefront, the Amazon wish list, or you just need a way to you want to donate anything to the channel, then you can find everything in a description box down below, scrolling across the bottom of the screen and in the community tab. And with that being said, some updates on some things. Let me make sure I check. It is Sunday. It is time to announce what game night will be, and hopefully y'all show up. Hopefully I see y'all there. Last week game night did not happen. um didn't have people want to play or anything, so hopefully the case is y'all show up, and based off of what's going on, game night will be Deborah Cox. Okay, Deborah Cox for game night, so show up and show out for that. That is on Wednesday, and then there will be a y'all do too much like there is every week. So that's game night. I'm gonna try to have some pre-recorded stuff out to y'all. Hopefully I get that done, get that out to y'all. Just really trying to get back into the swing of things, and then that's about it for all the updates. Um, so we're here to talk about the WGA strike. The strike is over. What does that mean for what does this mean for them? And then really, what does this mean for everyone else? So the WGA strike lasted for 148 days. They were on strike for 148 days. It was almost as close as the last time they went on strike, like how long it was. Um, we have been through the entire summer. Um, we went through this. What is it? We went out of spring. Yeah, we went from spring, summer, and almost to fall. Almost to fall, because fall hadn't hit yet before you know agreements were signed. On top of that, we are currently in the fall season for television, and ain't really much on, like, there's not really much on television right now, or movies really coming out, because the writers are on strike and whatnot getting written or anything else like that. So a lot of the networks are playing old shows or stuff they had stacked up to be released like during the winter time is being released during fall. But the writers were on a strike for 148 days. They met on what was it, last Saturday? I believe it was last Saturday. Last Saturday they had a meeting, and like they were negotiating. Negotiations were happening. Rumors were flying like, oh, this could happen, or if it doesn't happen, this will happen. So it was really up in the air. And come Sunday, they got a tentative exceptional agreement signed, and then the strike, I believe the next day after that at 12, no, the strike the strike was still on, but picketing was paused. The WGA had to, things had to be sent to the board. The board had to agree on it. The board had to, make sure everything was, well, no, the negotiation committee had to make sure everything that was said in the meeting, like the negotiation meetings, were in the contracts and everything else. Then it had to be sent to WGA East and WGA West, and then it had to be voted on by, the union members, and it passed unanimously with everybody, negotiation committee, board, and the council, and the members. So after it passed, it wasn't like that long where everything was agreed upon. It was like, strike is over at 12:01 a.m. and it was. They told the writers to make sure before you go back to work, you still have a job. And a lot of writers are like, listen, these little deals y'all trying to give is not gonna work anymore. Like, the take a job to at least make a little bit of money, that's not going to work anymore, especially with the new deals they have. Also, SAG is still on. A lot of people are still on strike. SAG is still on strike. I don't know when their negotiations will start back up again. I don't know when that's going to happen. but I just know they're on strike. And the WGA supports SAG, so I think they'll still be outside picketing with them and everything, sharing information about them. I will too. But the WGA, their strike is over 148 days. And if I have it, I'll tell y'all some of the things that, they got in their tentative agreement, because they were like, it was a good deal. Like, the deal was good. Like, it was a good deal that they got, but everybody's still on strike. SAG is on strike. Um, SAG is on strike. If I remember correctly, I want to make sure I have everything before, I say anything about them. I want to, because last time anything was said about SAG on this channel was the video game authorization and what was going on with that, and if they were going to, if they were going to go on strike against video games. So, okay, so update with SAG-AFTRA. From their Instagram, this is their page. Y'all can go check it out. It says, to our members, SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP will meet for bargaining on Monday, October 2nd. So that's tomorrow. Several executives from AMPTP member companies will be in attendance. As negotiations proceed, we will report any substantiative updates directly to you. We appreciate the incredible displays of solidarity and support from all over the last 70. They've been on strike for 76 days of this strike. We urge to continue to come out and picket lines and strengthen members. I'm gonna be honest. In my opinion, even though I'm not a member of any of the unions yet, I want to be in the future. In my opinion, the fact that when it came down to the WGA getting their deal, and it is a great deal based off of what I've seen, when it came down to them getting their deal, many CEOs from AMPTP companies had to be in the room, because the person they had to negotiate for them, like, it was no longer that situation. So when people were realizing, okay, they have to be in the room now, it was like, okay, some might shake out. The WGA, hopefully, I was praying for them that they got an exceptional deal, or just like the best one they could ever get. Now that I know that SAG will start meeting with the AMPTP tomorrow for bargaining, negotiations, whatever you want to call it, and several AMPTP, heads of those companies have to be there. I'm praying for the best. I'm praying for the best. I'm praying for the best. I am praying for the best. Let's go see what this contract is looking like. I could tell y'all. Boom. I'm glad y'all have links in y'all bios, because I couldn't find it to save my life. Well, that's hurtful. I want it straight from their website. Okay. Summary of the 2023 WGA MBA. The following is a summary of the deal terms for the 2023 MBA. It's a simplified version of the Memorandum of Agreement, MOA, which contains a full text of new provisions. The language of an MOA controls in the case of any inconsistencies with the summary, unless amended in the 2023 negotiations. The provisions of 2020 MBA remains unchanged. This agreement is going to last from September 25th, so the day before my birthday, until May of 2026. So by 2026, depending on what's going on, either they're going to continue with the agreement they have now, possibly, or maybe another strike. Who knows? Minimum increases. Most MBA minimums will increase by 5% on ratification of contract, 4% on May 2nd, 2024, and 3.5% on May 2nd, 2025. Some minimums and rates increase less, mostly by 3% each year, while few rates increase only once or do not increase over the contract. These exceptions are results of patterns established in the industry. So basically, we're going to see an increase. I can't even speak. We're going to see an increase for the writers. New, past, present, and future. We're going to see certain increases over time, and then you may not see certain increases for if I have correctly, your rates. Like you'll see an increase for your rates over time and for certain things, and you won't see an increase for other things. Increased health and pension contribution rate. The health fund contribution on reportable earnings will increase 0.5% in the second year of the agreement from 11.5% to 12%. The Guild also has the right to divert an additional 0.5% in each of the second and third years of the contract from various minimum increases to either health fund or pension plan. Listen, I'm glad y'all have a health fund and pension plan. Everybody needs one. Each writer on a increased health and pension contributions for writing teams. Each writer on a writing team employed for a script will receive pension and health contributions up to the relevant cap as though they were a single writer, rather than splitting the applicable cap. In addition, when a writing team is employed on a series, the contribution for each writer on the team will be made on the full weekly minimum instead of one half of the weekly minimum. So basically what I'm getting from this, and y'all could go to other sources as well, but reading from the website and in my own head, what I'm getting from this is the way they did it in the past was a writing team the writing teams weren't treated as individuals and weren't treated as single writers. They were just treated as a team. So whatever, was paid for health and pension, they all had to split. Now that's no longer the case. Everybody gets their own. Okay, everybody gets their own. And I love it. I love to see it. Everybody gets their own to go towards their own stuff. And they're no longer gonna, we're gonna do it just like one half of the weekly minimum. No, you're gonna do the full weekly minimum, which, first of all, I'm gonna be honest, if y'all was getting one half of the weekly minimum before, that means they were getting over on y'all big time. Artificial intelligence. Y'all know how I felt about this, okay? AI can't write or read. Okay, so here it goes. We've established regulations for the use of artificial intelligence on NBA cover projects in the following ways. Now, let's be clear on something. Creatives, are we afraid of AI? A little bit. But the only reason we're afraid of it is because they want to use it to replace us for acting and singing and dancing and writing and art and different things like that. You're not trying to help it. You're not trying to allow us to work with it to even create something even better. You're literally trying to erase us. And that's why, as us creatives, we don't want it. But now let's get into what AI is looking like for the writers. Okay. AI can't write or rewrite literary material, and AI generated material will not be considered source material under the NBA, meaning that AI generated material can't be used to undermine a writer's credit or separated rights. Boom, get them straight out the way. You cannot and will not use this to basically replace me. You can't. You won't. And you can't take any of my work and feed it to them, because then it's going to be a problem. A writer can choose to use sorry, I bit my tongue. A writer can choose to use AI when performing writing services if the company consents and provided that the writer follows applicable company policies. But the company cannot require the writer to use AI software, like stuff like ChatGPT, when performing writing services. So basically, a writer has the choice to use AI if they want to, as long as it follows company guidelines. But you, in no way, shape, or form, can manipulate, hoodwink, bamboozle, lead astray, trick, manipulate, or anything else to a writer to get them to use AI, because then it'll be problems. I love to see it. The company must disclose to the writer if any materials given to the writer have been generated by AI or incorporate AI generated material. So basically, the ways of the past are no longer applicable. Sorry, my nose is stuffed up too. for like the way things used to be, that's not how this works anymore. And I'm glad that they went on strike and did what they needed to do, because technology is going to continue to change. Technology is going to continue to grow. And we can either try to work with things and try to incorporate them, not for them to take over, but actually work with them to the advantage to make sure people can't get over, or we could just let it take over. And I love that everybody's on strike trying to get what they need and get what they want, because the writers did what needed to be done, and SAG is doing what needs to be done. All of y'all on strike are doing what needs to be done. Union strong, baby. But the writers did what needed to be done to make sure that you cannot use my literary material. You cannot use the work that I did before. You're not going to force me out of my job, but you're also not going to get over on me and try to, put some, like, try to spin it to the media like, oh, this person doesn't write, they do this, they do that. Which actually helps other, like, people who write books, people who write textbooks. Um, this will go help them too, I believe, in the future. The WGA reserves the right to assert that exploitation of writers' material to train AI is prohibited by NBA or the law. So basically, you're not going to be feeding our scripts, past, present, or future, to AI to create anything. Be creative on your own. We love to see it. Okay, so improved terms for screenwriter employment. Guarantee second step. A second step is required whenever a writer is hired for the first draft screenplay for 200% of minimum or less, including the original and non-original screenplays. The requirement also applies to spec purchases. I have no clue what that means, but y'all tell me. Accelerated payment structure for flat deals. Screenwriters hired on a flat deal basis for 200% of the minimum or less must be paid 50% of their fee on commencement. If the writer has not delivered within 9 weeks of commencement, 25% of the fee is payable upon invoice. The final 25% is due on delivery of the step. Basically, what I'm getting is, the people gonna get hired to do their jobs. As long as they do them, they're gonna get paid, they minimum. They're gonna get paid all of it or a little bit more if they are not if they're not delivering what they're supposed to be doing. We're gonna split it in half until we get y'all get the work. Streaming features. When a feature length project is made for streaming with a budget of 30 million or more, the minimum initial compensation for a story and teleplay is 100,000, an 18% increase from the current rate. Shout out to y'all. And a 26% 26% increase in the residual base. Combined with the foreign residual improvements described below, this results in a 3-year residual of $216,000 for projects on the largest services, and 49% increase from $144,993 under the 2020 NBA. Improved terms and high budget subscriptions, video on demand. Streaming. Increased foreign streaming residuals. Foreign streaming residuals will now be based on the streaming services number of foreign subscribers for services available globally, amounting to 76% increase, including a 2.5 base increase to foreign residual for the services with the largest global subscriber bases over 3 years. For instance, Netflix's 3-year foreign residual increase from the current $18,684 for a 1-hour episode to $32,830 for a 1-hour episode. Viewership-based streaming bonus. The Guild negotiated a new residual based on viewership, made for HBS VOD series and films that are viewed by 20% or more of the service's domestic subscribers in the first 90 days of release, or in the first 90 days in any subsequent I can't say that word exhibition year. Get a bonus equal to 50% of the fixed domestic and foreign residual, with views calculated as hours streamed domestically of the season or film divided by runtime. For instance, projects written under the new NBA on the largest streaming services receive a bonus of $9,031 for a half-hour episode, $16,415 for a 1 hour episode, or $40,500 for a streaming feature over $30 million in budget. The bonus structure will take effect for projects released on or after January 1st, 2024. So basically, everybody about to get their money. There are no longer going to be ways to get over, because like I said, like I've been saying, the last time anybody like in Hollywood went on strike, streaming wasn't a thing. The least they had was possibly like TiVo. TiVo, and then on demand was starting to, make its way around, but that was like for the last time the writers went on strike. TiVo and on demand were a thing, and maybe like, recording the shows or the movies when they came on so you could watch them. That was about it. And for the actors, the last time they went on strike was like 2000. So yeah, streaming wasn't a thing. And for music and like television and movies, like any media you consume on streaming, they've basically been getting over. And now it's not like you can't get over on this one. Everybody about to get their money. Your thought. I wonder where, a certain company would be if Blockbuster would have bought them. I wonder. Streaming data transparency. The companies agreed to provide the guild subject. Sorry. The companies agreed to provide the guild, subject to a confidentiality agreement, the total number of hours streamed, both domestically and internationally, of self-produced high-budget streaming programs. Basically a Netflix original series, or a Max original series, or a Paramount original series. All the streaming platforms, if it's an original series, boom. The guild may share information with membership in aggregated form. Premium for pilot and backup scripts. 150% pilot premium and 115% backup script premiums will now apply to programs made for streaming platforms. Gotta love it. Gotta appreciate it. I have no clue what it means, but maybe y'all will be able to work that out. Minimum terms for advertising supported streaming. High budget programs made for ad supported streaming services, including FAST, get the same initial compensation terms as the equivalent programs made for subscription streaming services, including network primetime script fees for high budget series, as well as protections like span using basic cable span cap $375,000 in premium rates for pilots and backup scripts. These programs will also receive 2% residuals for reuse on the AVOD service. And increased compensation for series employment, weekly pay staff, writer script fees. Weekly pay increase. The minimum weekly rates for staff writers and Article 14 writers, story editors, executive story editors will increase by the overall minimum increases. 5%, 4%, 3.5%. So it's going to increase 1 year by 5%, going to increase another year by 4%, and then increase another year by 3.5%. I have no clue what it means altogether, because I'm not sure what their percentage was before, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be higher. The increase for staff writers go into effect immediately, and those for story editors and executive editors go into effect the Sunday after ratification. So all this is in effect now. Writer-producer weekly rates. There will be a new writer-producer tier, co-producer level and above. That has a higher minimum weekly rate rate amounting to 9.5% premium over the story editor / executive story editor rate. These rates will go into effect for new seasons that start 60 days after ratification. So this one hasn't gone into effect now because it hasn't been 60 days yet. Writer-producer weekly minimums. Term of employment. Year 1, up to 9 weeks, $11,371. 10 to 19 weeks, $9,476. 20 weeks plus $8,524. Development room premiums. Writers of any title working in a pre-greenlit rooms of at least 3 writers, including a pre-greenlit room between seasons of a show, will be paid premium rates up to guarantees of 19 weeks. If the writers are guaranteed 20 weeks or more, the premium doesn't apply. The development room rates will be 25% above the highest regular room rate. These rates will go into effect or new contracts beginning November 1st of 2023, assuming the ratification in October. Ratification has already happened. So next month, this will go into effect. So if you are in a room and you work, you will have higher rates. If you are in a room for pre-greenlit shows, so if you, yeah, you will, y'all gonna get a nice little chunk, okay? Development room premium rates up to 19 weeks. Staff writers, $6,959. Story editor / executive story editor, $12,978. Writer producer, $14,214. Staff writer and script fees. Staff writers must be paid script fees for the episodes they write. That's a new thing that wasn't happening before. Which I think is great. Like, this wasn't happening before. And based off what I saw from writers who are in the WGA, that hadn't happened before. A lot of people weren't getting paid that way. So that's amazing. So also a new thing that I saw was that for pre-greenlit rooms, and this takes effect after December 1st, so in 2 months, development rooms have to have 3 writers before the series order, at least 3 writer producers, including the showrunner, and they're guaranteed 10 consecutive weeks of employment. That really wasn't happening before. Development rooms where writers are guaranteed 20 weeks of work or more are treated as post greenlit rooms. And for these rooms, like the minimum staff is 3 writer producers, including the showrunner for the rooms. And for the second season, of a show, the required minimum number of writers is determined by the anticipated episode order. So basically, you have to have a certain amount for that first season. Becomes second season, depending on how many episodes you get, depends on what the writer's room is looking like. So for post greenlit rooms, if you have 6 episodes or fewer, you need the minimum of 3 writers. If you have 7 to 12 episodes, you need the minimum of 5 writers, and you need the minimum of 3 writer producers in the room. If you get 13 or 13 plus episodes, minimum of 6 writers in the writer's room, the minimum of 3 writer producers in the room. And there's a lot to this, like improved options, exclusivity, and span protections. The salary limit under each option exclusivity protections apply will increase from 325,000 to 350,000 as of May 2nd, 2024. Span protections will expand to cover more writers working on short orders by increasing the cap on earnings from 400,000 to 450,000, basic cable remaining at 375,000. By extending span protections to writers on limited series for contracts made 30 days after the ratification date. So basically next month. They're going to have showrunner training programs. They've reached an agreement to renew $250,000 in annual funding for showrunner training program. There are great things happening. Is basically what you're getting from this. They went in and did what needed to be done to make sure past, present, and future writers will always be protected. Like, your work is protected. You don't have to um like they did the Lord's work. That's what I'm gonna say. They did the Lord's work, and now like the WGA writers are passing on some things. And someone said, WGA members, if there are deals you're passing on, please refer that person to a lower level or pre WGA member who may want it. At this stage of my career, I have nothing to lose from it. If I from an if slash come deal, I always can use more writing samples anyway. And I think that's a great thing. Like, pass it along. If you don't want to do it, if you're like, I'm not about to do that, if you already set and secured and where you are in your place, pass it to the next person. Help the next generation. Help these people get a foot in the door. Take them under your wing if you can. Like, there are so many things going on. Like I said, SAG is still, they'll be meeting tomorrow. And, I'll probably talk about more with the deal if I see more stuff about WGA. With SAG going to meet with going into bargaining slash negotiations tomorrow. A lot of people feel like when it comes to AI, it's time for those big name people, like their faces and their names, their A-listers. It's time for them to start making some noise when it comes to AI, because if y'all don't get the deal under, like, if it's not, if they SAG is looking for, what is it? Consent and compensation. It's time to start making some noise, because if y'all don't, then y'all will be replaced, and nobody wants that. Like, quite possibly y'all will be replaced. Someone is saying the most famous actors will have zero protections over that without a firm SAG restriction on AI training. So on the eve of returning to the AMPTP negotiations now is the time for famous actors to voice their dissatisfaction with zero consent or compensation for AI training, because they could legit say, "Oh, I want someone to look like, her, and her. I need her. I need this person to like. I needed to sing like this person, and I need this person to dance like this person while having the artistic ability of this person." And boom, you have your actress or your actor, and the person can legit look like you, have your features sound like you, so on and so forth, and you have no control over it. So yeah, things have to happen. Like, y'all have to start making noise. Y'all have to start, raising y'all voices. Let the people know you will not be replaced. Do what you can to make sure that you are protected. Make sure those in the future are protected, and make sure those who have come before you are protected, because at the end of the day, they're just going to feed them your likeness, and they're just going to use you and them forever and ever if things don't happen. So hopefully, let's pray on it. Let's wish for the best for SAG-AFTRA as they start to go into negotiations tomorrow. We pray that they get everything. They get an exceptional deal. And there's so much in the SAG-AFTRA deal that they wanted, like, and it was really to protect actors in all, like, aspects of it, not just TV and film. They were really trying to protect the people that, certain people don't want a protection, but we'll go over that one day. We'll probably I'll make that a thing, like, almost every single day, just like maybe on my shorts or something, or make a video about it to go over it. But that's what's going on with the WGA. They're officially off a strike. Their strike has ended. I believe they're still picketing with SAG-AFTRA, still fighting for the others. Okay, fight for your right to party, live, love, and all that great stuff. The United Auto Workers are still on strike, and President Joe Biden went down there and was, picketing with them. Okay, he actually did, first sitting president to ever do it. And it's, you know, we love to see it. We love to see someone actually getting down there with the people and actually listening to what they have to say, and not just like calling them lazy and things like that. Others are on strike. I'm gonna have to go and search and see for the rest of the people who were on strike. There were a lot of hospitality workers, a lot of healthcare workers, they're on strike. Other people in entertainment were on strike. So it's been, listen, hot. It was a hot union. It was a hot union summer. We got a little, union spring, hot union summer. We're in the fall and people are still striking as they should. Get what you need, get what you want. Make sure that you are getting protections for not only you, but everyone who's going to come after you as well. And maybe a little bit of protections for the ones who came before you. So, with that being said, that was it. That was all. I don't have more to give y'all. If y'all like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Remember Deborah Cox for game night on Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow and Tuesday for more things as well. So be looking out for that. And I'll see y'all later. Bye. Hello, Siesta Fiesta. Hello. I'll see y'all later.